Last night, Leann Rimes and Eddie Cibrain gave a primetime interview discussing their affair and their relationship for the very first time. The two met on the set of a television movie and fell in love. They were both married to other people, Eddie with 2 children. Now Eddie's ex-wife, Brandi Glanville, is telling her story, only to us. Brandi, welcome to The Talk.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. I take it you watched last night's interview.
I did watch it.
What did you think?
You know, at this point, I've seen it played out on the soccer field and everywhere for it's been a year and a half. I didn't think it was horrible. I'm happy they're in love. I don't know that it needs to be. I think that they're worried they need acceptance, and I feel like they should just be happy, loving one another, and not worry what anyone thinks.
That's pretty. I'm sure most people were not expecting to hear you say that, least of all Leann and Eddie. What did you tell the children?
About them?
About them, about Daddy leaving?
Well, Eddie was gone a lot already for work and for golf and for other things, so it really wasn't a shock for the kids. I just said Daddy's working.
Can I just ask, Brandi, how long were you married?
For 8 years.
Okay.
But we were together for 13. We met when we were very young. So we had, you know, a long-term relationship. But the kids, in the beginning, they were fine because Eddie was gone a lot anyway. And once we sold the house is when it kind of hit them. Like, wait,
right.
You know, what's happening? Why are there no clothes in Daddy's closet? And when that happened, I kind of panicked. I didn't know how to deal with it 100%. And I'm just like, you're really lucky. You get to have 2 houses and 2 dogs and 2 lizards. And, you know, they're like, oh, yay,
right.
pretty.
And you had to put on a face for them.
Exactly.
Which is,
they're like, well, my other birthday. Can't wait for my next birthday.
Right. I was going to ask you, as a woman, because I know there's people out there who feel this has happened to, who, you know, not just being left, but how did, as a woman, you must have felt. So, like, is it about me? Is it something I'm doing wrong? Was I not pretty enough? Was I not wife enough? Was I not?
Absolutely. I went into this mode of completely picking myself apart, wondering if I'm too old, too skinny, too whatever it was. I was like going like this in the mirror, like, what can I do? You know, is it the 10-year younger changing thing? You kind of go into a self-hate mode where you want an answer, and there is no answer. I figured it out now. It's just different. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different. Right. But I definitely, like, my hair needs to be blonder. Do I need contacts? Like, what is wrong with me? You go into that mode. I think everybody does.
And what did you come up with?
It took me a long time. I realized after about a year that it's just different, and I didn't come up with a set answer. Do you know what I mean? I lightened my hair, I went blonder, I went darker, I went and got Botox. I'm like, it has has to be something.
Right. But you realized that it wasn't. You realized that it's not you.
You can't. I have to share this with you because I have been the Leann. With my husband. My husband was married, he had 2 children, and he left them to come with me. And so I've been there. I don't know how you feel, but when I was with my husband, I didn't have children, so I never knew that sort of emotion, what that meant. Now I have children, I know what it feels. I know you must be in pain and self-doubt and everything that goes along with that. But saying that, even though I know the repercussions, I know everything that goes along with splitting a family, I would have still gone with my husband because I love him. And I wasn't going to sacrifice my happiness for his ex-wife's. And that's just the way I was.
But Sharon, you also said to us, you said before that you felt like there was, where would you have changed?
The thing I would have changed was, there has been no love between Ozzy's first wife and me for 30 years. It's been this, and for 30 years there's been turmoil with his first children. And if I could do it again, I would absolutely sit down with her, them, and a therapist and work it out, because the only people that suffer are those children. The children suffer every time. Would you do that?
Yeah, you know, I reached out to her because I don't have a home number for them, and I'm not allowed to go to their house. I don't have a way of reaching Leann, so I went on Twitter and I said, you know, I just want to have dinner with her, and I don't follow her on Twitter.
Twitter is awful.
I didn't. I know. I agree with you, but I had no other way.
Couldn't you post a card? Post a letter to the house.
Wait, why don't you have the phone number to their house? I mean, half the time your children, or a chunk of the time your children are there. Why don't you? Have you asked for the phone number, and they won't give it to you?
Correct.
I would still have written a note rather than Twitter.
But I don't understand that. How do you not have the phone number and address to people? Like, is there a court order against you?
No.
Or?
No. It's just.
Can you legally ask for that?
I've asked for it. I've gone through my lawyer. I've asked for it. Hopefully it's coming. But I did get in touch with Leann through Twitter, unfortunately. I mean, I think Twitter's kind of silly, but it did, you know, get her to call me. And we are going to go, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to talk. And I said, just for my children's sake, because Mason now has a zillion questions.
Of course.
And what do you tell him?
You know, I don't know what to tell him, actually. He's like, were you and Lee ever friends?
And can I just say, I feel like you should just lie and just say, no, because it's for the kids. You don't want to create animosity, like Sharon said.
And
let me tell you something, it's the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to do, to say, yes, we're friends.
Was your marriage already broke?
No, it was not.
You were in a happy marriage.
And he was faithful up to this point.
No, he wasn't. I didn't know he was unfaithful prior, but once I found out, you know, it all kind of came crumbling down.
Right.
But I did believe I had a great marriage. You know, we had normal problems that any long-term relationship would have.
Right.
But my marriage, in my head, and all my friends' heads, was not in trouble.
Do you miss being married to him?
I don't miss being married to him.
Do you feel you really knew him?
No.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so shocking, to find out that your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend are cheating on you. Is you think you know somebody, and then you find out that they've been exactly, and that's what's so horrific, which is why I want to ask you about the. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've both.
Go. Oh, go.
The tip and sipping. Why are you drinking?
I'm not drinking every day.
Are you drinking now? Did you drink before the show? Oh, okay, good. I'm kidding.
Where's the breathalyzer? So I'm used to having my kids all the time, and now I have them part-time. So when they're with their father, I'm alone. So it's either chaos, and when they're with me, I never drink. It's just I'm with them constantly. I don't have a nanny. I don't have help. I do it all. Right. But when they're gone,
you're
you're
lonely.
Cricket. And I'm dating, and I'm out there, but all my friends are married. Right. You know, they're going to. It's different for me.
You have to find your new normal now.
And
yeah, exactly.
My social drinking was 2 glasses of wine, and then now it's 3 to 4, which is not good. And my body weight, I can't handle that, and I realize that. And I think that's part of, like, just realizing that I shouldn't be doing that.
And you got to take care of yourself.
Right.
And that's not by drinking, Mrs.
You were arrested for drunk driving last week. Right. Is it accurate to say, since your divorce, you've been drinking more than you have in the past?
Yes. I mean, I don't think that I have a drinking problem. I think I had a problem the other night when I made a bad choice to drive, which I should not have been doing.
What you should be doing is going to McDonald's.
I do go to McDonald's. I know.
Get some meat on these bones.
Fatten
it up, sister, fatten it up.
Well, we've heard you say that you're not quite sure what to say to your kids, which is why we have psychotherapist Dr. Wendy Walsh in our audience today, and she has helped many families through divorce. So, Wendy, what should parents tell their children when they're getting a divorce and infidelity is involved?
You know, Brandi, my heart goes out to you because I'm also a single mother, and I went through a lot of this kind of breakup stuff, and I totally get what you're feeling. I didn't have their phone number for a long time. When the kids were with him, I could not contact my kids at all. And it's really scary, but you have to trust that he has a biological interest in saving those kids, so you just got to take a deep breath and get through it. But let me say this. Stay off the idea of sex and affairs and all that stuff, and stay on the feelings, including your own. Daddy fell in love with someone else. I felt feelings of sadness and loss. It's okay to display even negative feelings without blaming. It's not, he did this to me, and so I felt this way. But always assure them we're still your parents. We're going to be there forever. We both love you. Because all kids blame themselves when there's a divorce, every time. So the words are, Daddy and I love you so much. Daddy and I are always going to be there for you, but you know, he fell in love with someone else. It makes me feel sad, but I'm going to feel happy on a different day. That's what I tell my kids.
And the final note, what should she do in terms of dealing with Leann Rimes?
I think the gesture she made, while it's very modern, Sharon, using Twitter, is a great olive branch. I think for her to find some playing ground where the two of them can put the children first and the needs of, I mean, they're women. They're two women. They understand. They've got motherhood inside their brains.
Why does the whole world have to know what they're doing?
Yes, well, obviously she had a problem with a phone number.
It is modern, Mrs., but you know what? It ain't discreet.
Yeah, I know. If my ex-dude was on Twitter and I couldn't reach my kids, I'd tweet him too.
Then take it back.
Wendy Walsh, Dr. Wendy Walsh, thank you so much. Brandi Glanville, thank you. And we wish you a lot of luck raising those boys, those adorable boys. We'll be right back.